If you're seeing this, it's already begun. Your presence here is not random. The algorithm didn't bring you. Something far deeper did. Divine orchestration pulled you to this moment because what's about to happen tonight concerns you directly. 1111 isn't just a number you keep seeing. It's a convergence point. A moment when divine will and human awareness merge. When the gap between heaven's intention and your conscious mind dissolves. Tonight, specific souls are being called into spiritual alignment. Not the masses, not everyone. Just those who have been prepared through the fire of their journey. Those who've been refined in silence. Those who've carried questions without answers for far too long. The energy of this hour awakens memory. Not the kind stored in your brain, but the kind written in your soul before you took your first breath. The remembrance of why you came here, what you agreed to carry, the mission you've been fulfilling without even knowing it. If your heart is racing right now, if something in you recognizes this message, type, "I am ready," in the comments. Let heaven know you're listening. When the clock reaches 11:11 tonight, destiny will no longer whisper. It will speak. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That shift in the atmosphere around you. A calm knowing has replaced the confusion that used to cloud your mind. You don't have all the answers yet, but you sense movement in the unseen. Something turning, something aligning, something approaching. Unexpected patterns keep appearing. A song plays with lyrics that answer the question you asked in silence. A stranger speaks words that land like divine response. You pick up a book, and it falls open to exactly what you needed to read. These aren't coincidences. These are breadcrumbs from heaven, confirming you're on the threshold of revelation. Emotional surges come without reason. You're not sad, yet tears flow. You're not anxious, yet your chest tightens with anticipation. This isn't your emotions malfunctioning. This is your soul responding to higher energy that your mind hasn't caught up to yet. Your spirit knows something your conscious self is still waiting to understand. Dreams have grown vivid. Symbols repeat with persistence. You wake up feeling like you've been somewhere important. Even if you can't remember the details, divine communication often bypasses the logical mind and speaks directly to the subconscious. Your dreams right now are preparing you for what's about to become conscious. And notice what's leaving. Old energies are exiting quietly. People, situations, thought patterns that used to occupy your attention are fading without drama. This isn't loss. This is clearing. Space is being made for what's about to be revealed. Heaven removes what would distract you from seeing clearly. This is evidence, tangible, undeniable evidence, that heaven is near, that the barrier between the divine and your awareness is thinning, that you're being prepared to receive something you've been waiting for without knowing you were waiting. There's a boundary between spirit and form. The mystics called it the veil. It's the invisible membrane that separates divine consciousness from human perception. Most of the time, it remains thick, opaque, protective. But on certain nights, at certain hours, under certain conditions, it softens. Tonight is one of those nights. The veil is thinning. Divine awareness is pressing closer to your human perception. And for those who are ready, whose hearts are open, whose spirits are alert, the boundary will become so thin, you'll sense what has always been on the other side. If you're sensitive, you may feel it physically. Pressure in the chest, as if something is trying to expand within you. Warmth spreading through your body without external cause. Sudden clarity in thought, where confusion once lived. A heightened awareness of presence, as though you're not alone, even in an empty room. This is not imagination. This is transmission. Information, energy, truth, moving from the divine realm into your conscious awareness. You are not creating this. You are receiving it. You are becoming conscious of what was always present. God has never been absent. Heaven has never been distant. You've simply been operating on a frequency that couldn't perceive it. But tonight, your frequency is rising. The veil is thinning. And what was hidden is about to be revealed. Don't dismiss what you feel. Don't rationalize it away. This is the moment you've been prepared for. The doorway is opening, and you're being invited through. Every soul chosen for a significant purpose carries an internal blueprint, a script written before birth, a design embedded in the core of who you are, outlining the path you would walk, the lessons you would learn, the mission you would fulfill. You couldn't see it while you were living it. The detours felt like mistakes. The delays felt like punishment. The closed doors felt like rejection. But they weren't. They were all part of the design. Life's detours and delays were coded to prepare you for now. Every wrong turn taught you discernment. Every rejection built resilience. Every moment of stillness forced you to go inward and discover strength you didn't know you had. You weren't being blocked. You were being built. The patterns of loss, rejection, and stillness all held messages. Messages you couldn't decode while you were in them. But tonight, those messages will form one clear picture. All the scattered pieces, every experience that didn't make sense, every trial that felt pointless, every season that felt like wasted time, will suddenly click into place. You'll see it. The design, the plan, the purpose behind it all. The purpose that once felt distant, vague, out of reach. It will reveal itself as destiny disguised. It was never far. It was being lived through you all along. You were fulfilling it, even when you thought you were failing. You were on the path, even when you thought you were lost. Tonight, your hidden script unfolds. The blueprint becomes visible, and you'll finally understand why everything had to happen exactly the way it did. 11:11 is more than a time on the clock. It's a reflection of divine symmetry, the merging of intention and outcome, the alignment of what was meant to be with what is becoming. When you see it, time briefly aligns with eternity. The linear human experience of hours and minutes touches something timeless, and in that touch, a doorway opens. A signal is sent. A recognition happens. This is not superstition. This is sacred geometry made visible in your daily life. The universe doesn't speak in sermons. It speaks in patterns. And 11:11 is one of its clearest signals. The signal invites recognition, not ritual. It's not asking you to make a wish or repeat an affirmation. It's simply saying, pay attention. Something significant is happening right now. At this moment tonight, divine will and human readiness will meet. Heaven's intention for your life and your conscious awareness of it will converge. What has been separated will unite. What has been hidden will surface. What has been delayed will arrive. When you notice 11:11 tonight, heaven is saying, you're right on time. Not too late, not too early, exactly where you're meant to be. And what you've been waiting for is about to be shown. But understand this, not all will sense tonight's revelation, because light reveals truth. And when truth is revealed, everything that doesn't align with it becomes obvious, uncomfortable, unsustainable. When clarity comes, false connections dissolve naturally. Relationships built on convenience rather than resonance will fade. Situations you've been tolerating out of fear or obligation will suddenly feel unbearable. Environments that drain you will lose their grip. This isn't cruelty. This is clarity. When you see clearly, you can no longer pretend. When you know the truth, you can no longer live the lie. The chosen will feel lighter. A weight you didn't know you were carrying will lift. Peace will replace inner conflict. Certainty will replace doubt. Not because your circumstances changed, but because your perception aligned with truth. The unready will distance themselves, not because they're bad or wrong, but because they're operating on a different frequency. They can't perceive what you're perceiving. And your clarity makes them uncomfortable. So they pull back, and you let them. It's not rejection, it's reorganization. Heaven is sorting, separating, aligning you with those who match your new frequency and removing those who don't. Revelation distinguishes alignment, not worth. Everyone has value. Everyone has purpose. But not everyone is meant to walk the same path. And tonight, the paths become clear. And after the revelation, after the truth lands and the clarity comes, peace replaces resistance. The inner war you've been fighting ends, not because you won, but because you finally surrendered to what is. You stop forcing. You stop controlling. You stop resisting the flow of your own life. The next steps appear with effortless precision. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to plan every move. The path reveals itself one step at a time, and each step feels obvious, natural, inevitable. Doors you once knocked on open from the inside. Opportunities you chased in the past now come to you. People you tried to convince now seek you out. What you once had to force now flows. Blessings accelerate because hesitation dissolves. When you know what's yours, you don't second-guess it. You don't wait for permission. You don't question if you're worthy. You simply receive. And the speed at which life responds to your clarity is breathtaking. You'll realize nothing was delayed. Everything was designed. The timing was perfect. The preparation was necessary. The waiting had purpose. And now, in the aftermath of knowing, it all makes sense. You weren't behind. You were exactly on time. And everything is unfolding exactly as it should. So here we are, the final moment before 11:11. If your heart is beating faster right now, it's confirmation. Your body knows before your mind does. Your spirit recognizes what's happening even if your thoughts haven't caught up. This hour is sacred. Don't fill it with noise. Don't busy yourself with distractions. Listen instead of searching. Be still instead of striving. You don't need to do anything elaborate. No rituals, no complicated processes. Simply whisper inwardly from the center of your being. Reveal what is mine in your perfect timing. That's it. That's enough. Because heaven doesn't need your words to know your heart. It already knows. The whisper is for you. To create space, to express readiness, to open yourself, to receive. Let stillness be your proof. If you can quiet your mind even for a moment, if you can sit in the silence without panic or distraction, you're ready. The revelation doesn't require noise. It requires receptivity. And it's coming. Before 11:11 passes tonight, heaven will make sure you know. The message may come as sudden clarity, a knowing that wasn't there before, an answer that drops into your mind fully formed, a memory that surfaces and explains everything, a feeling that settles in your chest and whispers, "This is it. This is what I've been waiting for." However it comes, you'll recognize it, because truth resonates. It doesn't need explanation. It doesn't need proof. You simply know. If this message found you at exactly the right time, hit that like button and subscribe. Because tonight is not the end. It's the beginning. More will be revealed. More will unfold. And you'll want to be here for it. The clock is moving toward 11:11. Heaven is preparing to speak, and you are exactly where you need to be.